You get this room that is, you know, a 25-foot high room. You don't have that everywhere. You don't have helium everywhere that you go, and you don't have all these materials. So you have the opportunity of inventing connections between things, and you have to come up with something that can be completed in 2.5 hours. Okay, let's go to work.
No, but that's like an interesting idea. Like that's like not what I would. That wouldn't have been my first thought.
I like the idea of these being collaborative. I think we should just pair people up arbitrarily.
Check that out. Look out the window.
Who spotted that? That is too funny. You can talk with your partner.
As like a concept, like I get how that is interesting. As an object,
Figure out what you want to do. You could have some period of experimentation.
Different directions of tension.
But at a certain point in time, you want to start building a thing.
Like that?
Building something that makes you have some kind of reaction to it because it's a surprise, because maybe it is, it has a real presence to it, that maybe has some scale to it.
So it's kind of like a cloud of balloons with balloons inside and then a person floating.
Okay, we're ready to roll. We're going to sprint now.
Okay, so...
We wanted to create like a structure that's immersive and you can experience it.
Oh, goodness.
Whoa, doing it? There it goes. And that will, I guess the structure will float with the balloons. Wait, let go. It's flying! And so I guess you want people to go under it and look from underneath. Or lay on the ground and have it over them.
And I was really excited about the idea of creating...
Watch out.
Oh no, I don't want to stab you.
Yeah.
Of creating like an immersive space.
It's one person at a time, right, inside here?
Yeah.
What did you find the most challenging part of it?
Puncture wound. We got a puncture wound on aisle 3. I think like making it structurally sound. It's kind of awkward. Oh, we lost a little spiral. So that the reeds didn't.
Yeah, the reeds were kind of difficult when you got larger than the natural
I see.
shape of it, size of it. Where do you want to tape it? Here?
Let's go a little bit higher.
Then it starts warping and then the structure would tilt, so I guess trying to get it to stay still was pretty difficult.
Or just a lot of tape.
I thought like that's the direction you were going in visually, like these balloons encased by the reed. But then you re-encase the reed with more balloons, which changes it visually a lot. I don't know if you can like see the reed better from under here. Yeah, you can. I like it under there.
Yeah, I like I like that it's sort of transparent when you look up at it. You can sort of see through.
I think it's especially successful when the balloons are encased in the reed. And if you were moving more with this, I would think maybe more thought to how the reed works with the inflated object.
What is interesting about it is that you have helium balloons for lift and then the air balloon for weight. Because like if you want this to go down, you have more air balloon from this. What you can do is just remove the weight around, and you could get them to have different shapes. And so basically you could play with the form of it by just moving around the helium and the air balloon.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. Should we rearrange them? We'll have to tether it.
When I first saw it and it was floating, it looked like it was prancing, moving along very gracefully. It was dancing.
Elegant. It's an elegant structure. I mean, look at that. You have this kind of line that kind of ties it together, gives it a sense of unity, but then you have these volumes in different sizes that are bobbing about. You don't know immediately what's floating and what's not, and that creates a kind of ambiguity that you need to sit with it and kind of examine it a little bit, and it draws you in. If they were all floating, you wouldn't get that.
And when I look at it, I don't think balloons. I think bubbles or spheres, and so that the balloon part of this exercise, which I find the most limiting one, is transcended in here. Here's a good one.
Yeah.
Which is this?
Oh, that's mine. A structure that played with the bowing of these elements and the pulling of these elements. We are left with this structure that has pull to it, so I actually can inflate another balloon in here and it'll expand.
That's great.
And then the second thing we made was the trash.
Let's take a closer look at that. I really like the trash. This was almost like an afterthought, wasn't it? You guys spent a lot of time working on that. And then this, I just looked up, and then this was just here. You know, can you talk about that a little bit?
We were like, okay, what can we do now? We need to make a second one. And then I was like, we were playing around with trying to fill
There
up.
was a moment where we said, we're bored. Something about that was unsatisfying. I mean, it's a fun piece, I guess.
It's close.
I think there was frustration. I'm reading into it. There was frustration, dissatisfaction, yet we have to spend another 2 hours here. What am I going to do?
My roommate walked into the room.
Okay, it won't let me go anywhere.
And I think that the most unlikely thing would have been to use trash. So I think that when you're up against the wall with something, when you're ready to give up, it is often the time that the thing happens that is better than what you've been working on up until that point.
Uh-oh.
There was a moment where it just came together. And that's what I'm interested in, and how you get to that moment.
Moment before you do something that is very satisfying or successful.
If I'd come in and you just said, everyone go do your own thing, this is going to be like the third thing I did.
I love the floating trash.
I just needed to get to the helium. Not that I was prevented, but that we started talking about something completely different than
Right.
what I had in my mind over the weekend.
Right.
Which was fine, it was just different.
I
But
think
you also had to collaborate with someone.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Where did you get it?
Trash can.
I think that it makes us rethink what trash is, because trash can be this poetic and it can be this magical. I think we have to reconsider that trash is a bad thing in this context. You know, I love the little details, like you were pointing out, like the little vomit stains or whatever those are that are like on.
So some of the things that have been mentioned I think are really important as they apply to creativity, to making art, to any kind of authentic experience. One of them is that it changes our way of looking at something. So there are a lot of good pieces in here, but this one, perhaps more than any other, changes the way we consider something. This is something that where, without the helium, this piece wouldn't have happened. Without this moment, this piece probably would never happen. There's a lot of sort of experimentation, and many of the pieces are beautiful in many ways, but it's hard to get something that really defies our expectation. And I think that this one does that. I think that some of the others do it in other ways, like the piece that's moving with the articulated joints, another thing that's totally unexpected. So if the helium just lifts, then it could make a beautiful, interesting thing, but it lifts. So it has to do something more than that. And the pieces that, for me, reach that higher level are those that change our expectation. Perfect.